Even though he's the backup quarterback, maybe the third string quarterback on this team, he is undoubtedly the number one topic. It's a phenomenon. And it's not that he calls attention to himself. He's just in a very interesting position. Hasn't played very much. It's kind of like a Rorschach test. What did you see in the ink blot test of Trey Lance last night?
He had obviously the interception on the bad play on the screen pass that he just couldn't loft it over the defensive lineman. And then I saw one on a crosser to Willie Snead where Snead opens, in the window. There's nobody standing between Trey. He's right in the spot there. Ball's got to come out. He didn't come out, and then he threw it late and he missed him. Outside of those two plays, I thought Trey was really, really good. And what's really the most encouraging thing, Grant, to me is every time I watch Trey Lance, he improves within the game that he's playing.
Within the game.
He starts slow and finishes fast. That screams, I need more reps and I need more field time. And anybody who's people that are sentencing this guy to, he sucks and he's always going to suck, those people have an agenda because, and maybe their agenda is they want to align with the team. If they feel like the team feels that way, or they're trying to push for a Sam Darnold, or they're pushing for Purdy, or they're pushing for some Brandon Allen, or they're pushing for a trade, or they don't like Trey for whatever reason. But you can see this guy improve in the midst of each outing. That tells me that he's, one, super raw, and two, it means a lot to him, and he's getting better. So I loved what I saw, and I thought it was he also seemed a lot more encouraged in the post-game locker room. I didn't get a chance to stand in the scrum and get his soundbite because there were so many people around him that I went in a different direction. But you know what? He just looked more confident, and maybe on a day like today, he can breathe a little bit and just be like, all right, the world's not ending. It's a step down a path.
I wonder how the Niners look at it, though. Like, are they looking at it like, oh, man, we look at Trey totally differently? Or like, yeah, okay, he's improving, but look at how slow he starts. We can't play him in a real game that we have to win because, God forbid, what happens in the first half could lose us the game. This is why we have to go with Sam Darnold. This is why we have to go with Brock Purdy, because even though he gets better the more live reps he gets, we can't mess around and lose games giving him those reps. On the other hand, teams around the league might be looking at Trey Lance and being like, all right, okay, if he's not right for the 49ers, he might be right for us, because while it's their problem that they can't give him the live reps because they're in this window that they decided they're in, we can do it. Like, I could see a lot of teams looking at Trey Lance last night and being like, okay, that is someone to keep on the radar. That's someone to keep on the Rolodex, call his agent. To me, yeah. I mean, okay, so there's the question that's legit and the question that's not legit. The question that's legit in my mind or the question that isn't legit is Trey, going to improve? He is obviously going to improve. He is improving. The question that is legit is, how are the 49ers going to react? How is the league going to react when he does improve? Are the 49ers going to say, you know what, that's our guy, and we're going to stay the course, and we like our quarterback room? Or are they going to hedge and say, man, we got 2024 cap issues, and we don't want the distraction, and we got Brandon Allen sitting right here, and Team X has offered us, this compensation in return? That's the part I don't know. I don't, because they play their cards so close to the vest. We don't get a real insight into exactly their master plan. So I know Trey's going to improve. I just don't know how they're going to react or the league's going to react to it. I just feel like the Niners might be surprised by what happened last night, because it felt like they were writing the narrative that Purdy's 1, Darnold's 2, Trey could be 3, or we might get rid of him. I mean, when Darnold got to play with the starters before Trey still hasn't done that, and then he got 2 drives in the third quarter, it felt like, damn, man, this is a real slap. And like, Trey's out. It felt like they'd written him off. Then he had that interception, and it felt like, yeah, he's done. And then he had this dramatic turnaround where he leads 3 straight scoring drives. And I don't think the Niners expected it. And I wonder if they're now reconsidering the quarterback situation, or they're saying, you know what, let's just wait one more preseason game before we make any big decisions who should be the backup.
look at him rip those 18 to 22 yard ins and outs, and
the one to Snead.
Yeah, I mean Snead is first of all, I think Snead's having a great summer. I mean, they're probably going to cut him, and he probably isn't going to get picked up, I would guess. But man,
he's been around. Snead, he knows how to play.
He knows how to play, but he looks a little quicker. To me, Willie Snead looks better in this camp than at any point last year with the 49ers. So, I mean, and then think about this too. I know it's been a down thing that Danny Gray's hurt and Ray's hurt. But in reality, Tay Martin and maybe more specifically Ronnie Bell and Willie Snead all have better ball skills than Ray or Danny Gray. So you're losing some vertical and you're losing some speed, but you're gaining guys who can really run routes and catch the ball. And so their wide receiver core has a much different look now. I mean, they got big play guys, they got stars, and then they got back end guys, but they're back end guys with ball skills and hands.
Last thing with Trey before we move on, it just feels like the Niners kind of gave up on him when he broke his ankle. I mean, bringing in Sam Darnold, calling him like the next Steve Young, felt like the Niners really weren't expecting Trey to make improvements this year, considering he didn't make many the first 2 years of his career. And what's crazy is he's making them almost in spite of them because he went to this Jeff Christensen guy that they didn't recommend, and he's finally showing strides, and they gave up so much capital for him, and it's almost like it's too late, or they don't care, or it's like it's great, but we still got passed up. I mean, it seems like a year ago, if the Niners were getting this kind of improvement from Trey Lance, they would have just said, thank you so much, he's our starting quarterback, great. But now it's Purdy's team, and I don't even know that it's certain that Trey will be the number 2 quarterback on this team, despite all the strides he's showing, which to me is wild.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's no doubt, there's no guarantee he'll be the number 2 guy, or maybe even the number 3 guy as far as guarantees. But I think they were skeptical, justifiably so. They challenged him, not knowing what he would be, and he is up to the challenge, and that's great to see. I mean. And this is kind of why I liked him in the draft, because to me, the most important box to check is not smart and not athletic. It's not arm strength. It's, do you love football? Is it important to you? And there's all kinds of guys who are good at football, but it's not important to them and they don't love it. This guy loves it. It's the family business. It's important to him. They challenged him. Last year, they handed him the reins. This year, they challenged him. Yeah. And you know what? There's a mentality. Remember when, I don't know if you were in the room the other day when Ambry came in, but I asked Ambry, I go, man, year 1, you really progressed. Year 2, everything kind of fell apart. What was the difference year 1, year 2? And he's like, you know what? Everything was kind of handed to me in year 2. And I just showed up in a different frame of mind, didn't think I needed to work, didn't think I needed to progress. And this year, I'm totally motivated. Well, Trey Lance may have thought everything's going to be, he's not going to win the quarterback job or earn it. He's going to have it handed to him. It was handed to him. When things are handed to you, you don't appreciate it. This year, they said, you know what? We're not handing it to him.
Ooh.
We can't bank on it. We can't bank on him. We're going to challenge him to get better, and he was up to it.
Ooh, you said when things are handed to you, you don't appreciate it. Brock, listen closely. Don't fall into the same trap that Trey fell into last year. No, what was cool about last night is that it was a big night for both of the 49ers young quarterbacks. Stock up for Brock. Stock up for Trey Lance.